Hey guys, look what I have here. This is the ZimaBoard. This is an SBC or single board computer, which means that the whole computer is built onto one circuit board, much like a Raspberry Pi. So the ZimaBoard's life started in 2021 on Kickstarter, and it was very popular, it was very well funded, and then they rolled it out to the masses, I believe, in late 2022. So the company kindly sent this out to me for review. There's 3 different models that range from $120 to $160 up to $200. And I have the $200 ZimaBoard 832 kit. So what I'd like to do in this video is talk about what the ZimaBoard is and what it can do. And then we'll open up this box. We'll take a closer look at the computer itself. But this really is just an introduction. In a future video, I'll explore the accessories that are available and talk about how I'm actually going to use this computer in my own setup. So this is ZimaBoard.com, and you can see they're calling it the world's first hackable single board server, and that is the ZimaBoard in the background there. So it uses an x86 SBC setup, up to an Intel quad-core CPU to 2.2 gigahertz, and the CPU they're referring to for the higher end models is the Celeron N3 450, and you can see here 6 watts or 4 watts TDP. So very low wattage, and that really is one of the selling points of SBCs. So kind of off topic here, but I've reviewed a lot of Raspberry Pis and different things like this in the past, and one of the things people always say is, well, you could buy a cheap laptop or you could buy a cheap desktop computer for that price, and it will be more powerful and it will be more flexible, but electricity costs are a big concern, and that's where these SBCs come in. This is why these little computers are so popular, because the wattage is so low, you can run them 24 hours a day and it's not going to be too expensive. So you can see it's got dual gigabit Ethernet LAN built in, which is amazing. And it actually comes pre-installed with a platform called casaos. And this is an operating system that connects to Docker. So it allows you to connect to hundreds of thousands of different applications. It makes it a very flexible platform. But as you can see here, you can install pretty much any operating system you want onto this. Linux-based systems, Ubuntu, etc. Windows, OpenWRT, pfSense, even Android. So it's really flexible as to what you actually install on this and what you use it for as well. And you can see some examples as to how you can use this. A personal NAS, a VPN, streaming, software router, media server, smart home. You could make it a little games machine if you wanted to as well. And if I go over to here, you can see the model that I've got, that's $200. The lower end model, $120, and you can see $160. If I go down here, you can see the specifications, and you can see how they compare. So I don't want to bore you with it too much, but the model that I've got here is the ZimaBoard 832. It's got the N3 450 with 4 cores. It's got Intel HD Graphics 500, 8 gigabytes of memory. And one of the downsides to this, I guess, is that the storage is embedded. It's got 32 gigabytes of embedded storage, but it does have SATA ports. It does have a PCI Express port as well. So you can connect an SSD, you can connect USB drives if you want. There's a lot of flexibility there. I'll leave a link to that page so you can check out the specifications, check out the website to look at all the boring stuff as far as specs go. But without further ado, let's get this open and see what the ZimaBoard is all about. Okay. Wow, look at this. That is very, very nice. I like this. So very well presented. First, we've got a 12 volt, 3 amps power adapter. And it's one of those power adapters that work across the world. So there's a little barrel connector there. It's not USB Type-C, although I'm sure we could find an adapter that's barrels this type of connector, power connected to Type-C. And here we have, what have we got here? We've got, I think that's USA, we've got Europe, and we have UK. So this is the box itself for the world's first hackable single board server, ZimaBoard 832, and that's telling you a little bit about it at the back there. Okay, here we go. Really nice how this is all presented. Look at that. That is amazing. Never seen that before. Look at that. That's really nice how that's all of that opens up. Okay. So we have the user manual showing you how to get started. We've got the ZimaBoard itself. So here we've got some stickers and we've got Sata connector cable there. So this is the ZimaBoard. Just look at that. That is awesome. Just look at that. Okay, so I've got all the boxes moved out of the way so we can take a closer look at the ZimaBoard itself. And first impressions are incredibly positive. This looks really, really nice design. Now you can see here that the top is dominated by a huge heatsink. There's no fans here. This is fanless, and this is how this is going to dissipate heat. Very nice. I like the logo there. Top here we have the power connector. Actually, for the power here. We've got a mini display port, mini display 1.2. We've got two USB 3.0 ports, and then we've got dual gigabit Ethernet, which is what makes this such a flexible device, because you can obviously use it as a router, you can use it for networking as a switch, etc. At the other side, we have two Sata ports, and we've got power here as well. And at the side here, we have PCI Express 2 X4. So this isn't PCI Express 3 or 4, this is 2. So speeds are a little bit lower, and it's an X4. But what that does is allow you to, put in network adapters. You could put in dual 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. You can put in a 10 gigabit Ethernet adapter as well. And there's a lot of different things you can connect here to make this a kind of Frankenstein device to connect hard drives, to connect, networking adapters. It's quite a nice weight on this. Really nice design. So the computer itself looks really good in my opinion, but it is bigger, it is heavier than a Raspberry Pi. Certainly a lot smaller than most even portable computers. It's very, very small. And this is the kind of thing that you'd normally connect to your network switch or your router. You'd keep it around there and just have it running 24 hours a day. But the device itself looks great in my opinion. Very well made. One of the things I always loved about my clear Raspberry Pi case was that you could see inside and you could see the circuit board and you could see exactly what was going on. But we can do the same with the ZimaBoard itself, because underneath, essentially we have the same going on. It's a single board with a really big heatsink on top. So I'll keep the sticker on just now, but I'd like to open it up and take a look inside. Now, I'm obviously doing this for your benefit. That's one reason why I'm doing this just now. But I think it is good to know how to open up single board computers as well. It helps you check that everything's okay. And, in the future, you might have to reapply thermal paste as well. So it's good to know how to open it up. And this has clearly been designed so that you can open this up very, very easily. And I'm showing you this in real time because I want to kind of demonstrate how easy it is to open it up. So take off the shell at the back. That's what that looks like, kind of see through. And this is the bottom of the circuit board. Not too exciting there, but I think, yeah. it's maybe hard to see, but you can see that it actually says CPU fan. So there is a port there for a CPU fan. Now you can see the battery, but you should be able to see there's also 2 additional screws here. So in theory, I just have to take these out like so, and we can separate the heatsink from the board itself. So you can see it will just come out like that. So there's the shell, that is what's taking up the majority of the size, and it's the majority of the weight as well. And this, if I spin it around, this is the actual computer. This is where all the magic happens. See all the, all the ports at the bottom there. There's a lot going on. You can see, well, it's hard for me to see here next to the overhead camera, but you can see all the, the CPU, and you can see all the different chips here. What I'd say is that obviously we're going to have some paste here at the bottom here. What I would say is that I've obviously taken this off, and some of the thermal paste is here, some of it's here. It could be in my interest to get some alcohol to clean this up, and then I'll reapply some thermal paste. But you can see how easy it is to actually do that. It only took me a couple of seconds to open this up. It's, in comparison to a normal laptop or normal PC, it's going to be a lot quicker to open it up, to clean it, to reapply thermal paste. And you can see there's some thermal pads there as well. So that is where all the magic happens. And again, to put it all back together, we just do everything in reverse. Very, very simple. I hope you've all enjoyed this look at the ZimaBoard, the world's first hackable single board server. Now, I've just opened this up, as you've seen, but my first impressions of the computer itself are positive. I think the color scheme, the logo, etc., I think the device itself looks great. I love this big heatsink, and I love the connection options here. 2 SATA, PCI Express 2x4, dual gigabit Ethernet, dual USB 3.0 power, mini DisplayPort 1.2. It's a great looking device, and it's practical as well. And you can see in the box here that you can use up to 36 terabyte of storage with those SATA ports. We've also got 4K display output with that mini display 1.2. And it can also support 1080p transcoding. So it is a flexible device. It is worth noting though, this is not a review. It's not a review. I've not powered it yet. I've not installed any operating system. I've not connected any storage, not connected any accessories. I've literally just opened up the box. So I do need to delve deeper with this and find out more about what this can do, and I will be doing that in future videos. And it is also worth noting, before I even move on to other videos, is that single board computers such as the Raspberry Pi, such as Arduinos, microbits, ZimaBoards, etc., they are not for everyone. Most internet users, most general computer users, they're better off just buying a mini PC, a desktop computer, a laptop. I know from doing a lot of videos about the Raspberry Pi is that these single board computers are not for everyone. But for many of us, these little SBCs are amazing. And there's many reasons that they're amazing. They're flexible. They can be expanded in many different ways, for network options, for storage options. They're portable and they're efficient from a power point of view. These are devices that can be run 24 hours a day very cheaply. So it opens up a lot of different applications for which you can use this. Plus you can install anything on it, any operating system, any platform. You can connect lots of different applications to it. They're just incredible if you're using it for networking, security, storage, etc. But they're not for everyone. Now, in the next video, I will delve deeper and I'll talk about the accessories I'm going to buy, and I'll talk about what I'm going to use this for. I still need to decide what I'm actually going to use the ZimaBoard for. And I will say as well that if you go to the ZimaBoard shop, they do have some accessories there. They do have some PCI Express cards, etc. But in comparison to the ecosystems for Raspberry Pi and Arduino, etc., there's not as many as accessories for the ZimaBoard. There's not as many like connections and different bundles and kits. But you don't really need it either. You don't need it because this has those SATA ports there, and it has a PCI Express card slot here as well, which means that you can just expand and add additional Ethernet ports, storage options, wireless connections if you want. You could put in a Wi-Fi 6E, whatever you want. So this has a lot of great expansion options. So it doesn't really need its own ecosystem because it's using standard PC connections here. But I am really looking forward to, looking more into this, discovering what and we're actually going to use this for at home, and just looking at the different accessories that are available. So please stay tuned for that if you've enjoyed this video. And if you get any questions, please do comment below. Until next time, take care.